Adaptations production of Eerie Evenings in the Park, an original script adapted from classic tales of terror. The Sterling Community Center is a Loudoun County Parks and Recreational facility, so please be advised that there is no alcohol or smoking allowed on site. Please silence all cell phones and no flash photography. If you feel like you are going to spontaneously combust, please proceed to the fire station behind this facility. If Mother Nature is cooperating, we are outside under the stars. In the event of an emergency, please proceed to the exit gate to your left. If Mother Nature isn't cooperating, we're indoors. In that case, in the event of an emergency, please proceed to the nearest exits to the rear or to the right. Now sit back, snuggle up, and prepare to be terrified by what you are about to see.
Come on, it's right over here.
So this is your famous gazebo. Very nice.
It's not supposed to be nice. It's supposed to be scary. They're coming to get you, Linda!
Here, quit it. Why would you want to scare me?
Well, I thought maybe, just maybe, you got just a little scared, a little spooked. You might let me put my arm around you. Just for reassurance on a Halloween night. We are all alone out here.
You're too much. Although, we do seem to be all alone out here.
As I was going by the stair, I met a man who wasn't there. He wasn't there again today. How I wish he'd go away. When I came home last night at 3, the man was waiting there for me. But when I looked around the hall, I couldn't see him there at all. Go away. Go away. Don't you come back anymore. Go away. Go away. And please, don't slam the door. Last night I saw upon the stair a little man who wasn't there. He wasn't there again today. How I wish he'd go away.
Did you hear that?
For what?
I thought I heard... Never mind.
I knew you'd get spooked. The old gazebo never fails. Do you want to go back? We can go grab a movie or something. Not even a scary one. A romantic comedy. Just for you.
I'm going to ignore the sexist undertones there. If you're not scared, I'm not scared. You don't even know scary stories compared to me.
I'm vaguely offended by that. I'll have you know that I have every Halloween movie committed to memory.
Oh, then why don't you go prank call a babysitter or something? You want to scare me? You'll have to go with the classics.
Like what? Freddy Krueger?
How about Dracula? Fiend of the night, master of the undead, the granddaddy of all monsters.
Yeah, right. I want to suck your blood.
Don't quit your day job. You want to scare? Then listen to this. But remember that female vampires are always a little more dangerous. In the late 19th century, Britain began to stretch its fingers around the world, becoming less of a sleepy island and more of an economic powerhouse. But as England began developing these opportunities, it made the mistake of welcoming a monster into its midst. A monster that had laid in wait in the old lands of Eastern Europe. The first victim on English soil was a young maiden, Lucy Westenra. Now her friends gather to say their goodbyes, not knowing the monster had taken her soul, along with her life.
From Mina Harker's journal. After her strange and unexpected ailment, Lucy's service was very simple and very solemn. Arthur and I stood hand in hand, and we felt that our best and dearest friend was gone from cheeks were full and even her lips had lost their deathly pallor.
She's still so radiant. Is my sweet Lucy really dead?
Poor Arthur. Have lost some sweetness from his life, but there she is, wearing the dress she could live long enough to wear. Having failed to arrest her strange ailment, Dr. Van Helsing keeps a respectful distance, scanning faces and eyeing the crowd for what I couldn't tell. After the service, we left, shocked that our blessed lives had been shaken so suddenly.
The Westminster Gazette, 25 September. The past 2 or 3 days, several cases have occurred of young children straying from home or neglecting to return from the heat. While too young to adequately explain themselves, each described a beautiful lady dressed in white.
Not again. Not so soon.
From the Westminster Gazette, 25 September. All of the children who disappeared into the night were found with a tear or small wound in the throat. Police believe the wound had been caused by a rat or a small dog. In fact, that all the wounds were similar to be entirely coincidental. Even so, police are advising children to watch their straying parents as each is found.
You must return with me to Lucy's crypt. The forgetfulness, the terrible lethargy, and the wounds to the throat. The children's symptoms are too similar to be coincidence. You must join me at dear Lucy's crypt. Her soul and the lives of these children are in jeopardy.
Why are we here? What are you going to do?
To open the coffin. You shall yet be convinced.
What? It's empty? Where is she? A body snatcher, perhaps? Did you take her?
Lucy Westenra rose from her grave of her own volition. It was no illness that killed her. She was drained of blood by one of the undead, and this turned her to one of the undead as well.
Are you mad?
Would that I were. Madness would be easier to bear. Look!
Come along, little dear one. I promised you a sweetie to make you smile. Come along!
You're holding me too tight, and my neck, it hurts.
Just a little further, and I'll kiss your neck to make it feel better!
Lucy! Is it really you?
Arthur, my love.
Mina, grab the child.
Arthur, leave these others and come to me. My arms are hungry for you. Come and we can rest together. Come, my husband, come!
This is not her! This thing has Lucy's features, but her sweetness that was once there is all hardness and cruelty. Her purity is wantonness, and she desires only blood.
Mina, my one true friend. You hear the lies they speak of me? They want to hurt me, Mina. Make it stop! Make it stop!
You're not Lucy.
No! No!
Do you believe me now?
Lucy would never hurt a child. Only the darkest, blackest magic could have done this. Can she be freed?
Lucy's waking life is over. But we can end this nightmare existence and return her to the Almighty. It is the only way.
No, not again so soon. I can't lose her again. No, please, no. Why, tell me what to do. I shall not falter.
Moment's courage, and it is done. This stake must be driven through her. Do not falter. Place it over her heart and strike true.
I can't do this. It's no good.
Professor hath given her peace.
More peace than we're due, I'm afraid. First, we must return this child to her family.
Then, 2 nights hence we shall meet again. There's another terrible task before us. We have freed Lucy's soul and ensured safety for these children. But we must still face the monster that turned her into this thing. Dracula still eludes us.
Scary enough for you?
It's horrible. That poor woman.
Well, it sure isn't Twilight. The first thing you do is you hurt us. And when that rule gets broken, it does make you want to look over your shoulder, doesn't it?
What was that? Maybe scary stories weren't such a great idea.
Come on, this was your idea. Tell me about Bunny Man's Bridge. Or the message in the mirror the poet finds the next morning.
I guess after Lucy, those don't seem quite so scary.
What about zombies?
Overdone. Let me think for a minute. You do another.
Okay, I've got one for you. A monster, resurrected by science that goes on a rampage through Europe.
Why do I feel like the answer is communism?
Frankenstein! And not the monster, the original, an eloquent, cunning fiend that sought vengeance on its creator. You want a scare? Listen up. Dead flesh. That's what laid on the examination table in Victor Frankenstein's laboratory. But Frankenstein wasn't content with his existing knowledge, and in his hubris demanded to know the secrets of life and death. What emerged from that table was a perversion of science. He imparted the spark of life into this mound of flesh. But the horrific thing he brought into this world was both hideous and consumed with hatred for its creator. Frankenstein's monster began to destroy those closest to its creator, and finally began to hunt Victor and his young bride.
What is it that agitates you, my dear Victor? You seem so wild. What is it that you fear?
All will be safe. The night is dreadful. Very dreadful.
Victor, what is it? You're frightening me.
There is a man, hideous to behold, full of hate and loathing for everything that lives. He is sure to come for me. But do not be afraid. You know I would die to protect
But
you.
Victor, why? Who is this man?
I'll tell you everything, but later. Once this creature is destroyed, we'll have a lifetime together. Wait until daybreak, and we'll have a lifetime of sunshine and happiness and natural children that we'll make together.
Then that day cannot come soon enough, my love.
But wait here. Guards are posted outside. I want to make sure all the doors and windows are barred. When this monster comes, I'll be ready for him.
I will make you watch as I kill him.
Who are you?
I am revenge made flesh, newly born and then abandoned.
I don't understand. What happened to your face?
Am I not beautiful? I am as your handsome husband crafted me, like a sculptor with his clay. Let us ask him I was not more skilled.
Victor?
Yes. Victor. If I created life would make him a god. He made me a wretched thing that no one would ever look upon with affection. Even he screamed as he saw my face. He ran, leaving me confused, hated, and alone to learn the world. A year ago last night, I asked him to make me a female of my own kind so I could retreat the world with the love of one other being. He refused! So I killed Henry Clarble, his brother William, and Justine, and many others!
No.
And I will kill everyone he loves! Come! Embrace death! If I am never to know love, then neither will he!
House is sealed up. We're safe for now.
Oh, hello, Father.
Never call me that! You devil!
Oh, nay, wretched. How much more so must I be hated? Who in miserable beyond all living things?
Elizabeth!
Oh, Dr. Frankenstein. You yourself are responsible for that cold, dead flesh created in this hideous form of lies upon God and man. You gave life to me and are therefore responsible for every death I do. You refused me a bride, so I deprived you of yours. Shall we end this? Fashion me a companion, and I will leave you to eke out what small happiness you can in the rest of your years.
I will not create a race of devils on the earth.
So just the one. Is that your idea of goodness?
Oh, the torches of hell are too mild a vengeance for thy crimes.
Oh, you propose to kill me, eh? Oh, how dare you! How dare you! Make a sport with life again! You made me! I ought to have been your Adam! But instead, I am a fallen angel!
Your creation is my sin, and I alone should have paid for it. I'll die if it means purging you from this world.
My reign of terror over you is not yet over. Follow me into the everlasting ices of the north. You will know the misery of the cold and frost. But I am immune. Come on, my enemy!
I will devote my life to sending you to death.
Oh, we will wrestle for our lives. But many hard, miserable hours must you endure until that blessed event arrives. Bury your pretty are bound by ties. Only the soul of annihilation of one of us.
On that, we are agreed.
There she is, the queen of horror herself, Mary Shelley. There were horror and ghost stories before her, but she really made it pop. Horror just needs a woman's touch.
Really? Are you really gonna get woke telling ghost stories?
Always. Particularly if you want to put your arm around me again.
I gladly yield. I guess I'm more unnerved by the idea of a monster coming back from the dead seeking revenge.
All this horror talk is starting to get to you, huh?
It's the power of revenge. And when it comes in the form of a man pursuing you from beyond the grave, yeah, that's scary stuff. They hanged John Farrell in the dawn amid the marketplace. At dusk came Adam Brand to him and spat upon his face. Ho, neighbors all, spake Adam Brand, see ye John Farrell's fate. 'Tis proven here a hempen noose is stronger than man's hate. For heard ye not John Farrell's vow to be avenged upon me come life or death? See how he hangs high on the gallows tree!
Yet never word the dead man spoke for fear of wild surprise. For the grisly corpse raised up its head and stared with sightless eyes. With strange motions, slow and stiff, he pointed at Adam Brand and clambered down the gibbet tree, the noose within its hand.
With gaping mouth stood Adam Brand like a statue carved of stone, till the dead man laid a clammy hand hard on his shoulder bone. Then Adam shrieked like a soul in hell. The red blood left his face, and he reeled away in a drunken run through the screaming marketplace.
And close behind the dead man came with a face like a mummy's mask, and the dead joints cracked, and the stiff legs creaked with its unwanted task. Men fled before the flying twain and shrinked with bated breath. The face they saw upon Adam Brand, the seal set there by death. He continued on, with buckling legs that failed, and on he fled. So through the shuddering marketplace, the dying fled again.
At the riverside fell Adam Brand with a scream that rent the skies! Across him fell John Farrell's corpse, nor ever the twain did rise. There was no wound on Adam Brand, but his brow was cold and damp, for the fear of death had blown out his life, as a witch blows out a lamp.
And his lips writhed with a horrid grin like a fiend on Satan's pole. The men that stared upon his face that day, stare still haunts their souls. Such was a fate for Adam Brand, a strange, unearthly fate. For stronger than death and Hempton's noose, the fires the dead man's hate. From the dead man's hate, a poem by Robert E.
Peter, are you listening to me?
What? Oh, sure. I guess my mind was wandering. You do think we're alone, don't you? I felt like someone was watching.
See, now you're starting to spook yourself out.
You really think I'm scared?
I do.
All right, my love. Sit back. I'll grant you Bram Stoker and Mary Shelley. Now let me tell you a classic tale of horror. Real horror. Written by Mr. H.P. Lovecraft.
I just got a chill.
May I sit? Mr. De La Fort?
Yes.
May I?
Yes, forgive me. I used to have a cat, you know? Kept the rats at bay. Used to.
Thank you for the invitation to meet you here. I received your letter. I must say, I find it intriguing.
You don't believe me?
Mr. De La Fort, if my reputation precedes me at all, you'll know this is my line of work. you can trust that I will not simply dismiss your claims out of hand. In fact,
The facts are indisputable. My letters, a parable, a metaphor at best. How can I begin to put into words that indescribable horror? I knew what I saw, yet even with my own eyes, I could barely make sense of what it was. And now I have to relate this to you somehow. Impossible, impossible. I still don't know what those things are, or how they followed me here.
Mr. De La Cour, you mean to tell me that that is those things,
Yes, the rats in the walls. They followed me. I don't know what they want. It's chilly here. Where's that breeze coming from? Did you hear that?
No, I'm afraid not.
It faded for a while.
The noise.
Yes, the noise. Of course, the noise. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. It has been a trying few months, as I'm sure you can imagine.
Yes, I'm sure. Your letter was very thorough. I was distressed simply reading it. I can't imagine what it was like actually experiencing it all.
I don't remember anything. Not after we went down there. Nothing. Here I am, here, hungry. And all I have are the stories that others tell me. And the noise! Oh.
Mr. De La Cour, you're a guard?
No.
Guard, we need a guard!
No.
Yes, guard, it'll be all right.
Don't. He won't like it. He won't like it.
Is everything all right?
Yes. Yes. I think this young man just needs a glass of water and a blanket.
What I hear, it's not a blanket and a glass of water he wants.
That's enough.
Yes, sir. Just be careful is all.
Of course.
I'll see what I can do.
And thank you. But Mr. De La Cour, are you all right? Why don't you sit down?
Thank you.
Tell me. You're certain you don't remember anything? Nothing at all?
Nothing. Just,
Yes?
I remember the night before. And I remember the staircase below the basement.
There for the young man. Do go on. There, that's better?
Yes, thank you.
You were telling me what you remember.
I don't remember much. Just bits here and there. I remember the rush of wind and the scurrying sound of rats exploding in the walls behind me. The others didn't hear it. And it wasn't until after we'd gotten all the way down those horrible stairs. Oh, the architecture. The smoothness of those stone stairs. Something made it so that even when you're looking right at them, the angles made no sense. I'm making no sense. And the noise. It was all I could think about. What was he looking for? I couldn't.
Yes?
What are the others?
Do you remember them?
Oh, I can. The sound! Nyarlathotep and the crawling chaos.
Nyarlathotep. How do you know that name?
Where Nyarlathotep went, rest vanished. For the small hours were rent and screams of nightmare. Oh, the sound! They followed me!
Could you be more precise about the nature of the sound?
What?
What did it sound like?
What did it sound like? Thousands of tiny squeaks and rustlings, like the wind that rose and fell, like I learned ye how to goose. Will ye swing me hilky ways? Magnum Mater! Magnum Mater! That's it. Daddy! son of acetone! The final recognition be permitted! I have seen it! And he has seen me! None of this! August! Let's... Donas! Donas! August, let's say!
Possessed or crazy?
Don't suppose it's necessarily one or the other.
And what was in the walls?
That's Lovecraft. He tells stories of these horrible things that are trying to crawl their way into our world. They exist in the shadows, but they're gaining strength.
I don't know that I like that. And rats. Why did it have to be rats?
Hey, what's that?
Alright. I admit, you got me.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I scared myself too. Can I get that hug now to cheer me up?
How about a snack instead? I'll go to the car and grab the picnic baskets.
I like the way you think.
Let's meet back here in 15 minutes. I changed my mind. You're walking me to the car, but then we're coming right back. I've got another story for you, and it's gonna scare your socks off.
Wait, are you trying to undress me?
Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered, weak and weary, over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore.
While I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door. Only this, and nothing more.
Ah, distinctly I remember it was in the bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Vainly I had sought to borrow from my books surcease of sorrow.
Sorrow for the lost Lenore.
For the rare and radiant maiden whom the angels name Lenore.
Nameless here forevermore.
And the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain thrilled me, filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before, so that now, to still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating, "'Tis some visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. Some late visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. Here, I opened wide the door.
This it is, and nothing more.
Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating then no longer. 'Sir,' said I, 'or madam, truly your forgiveness I implore, but the fact is I was napping. And so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping at my chamber door that I scarce was sure I heard you. Farther I opened wider the door.
Darkness there,
And nothing more.
Deep into that darkness, peering long, I stood there wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortal ever dared to dream before.
But the silence was unbroken, and the stillness gave no token. And the only word there spoken was the whispered word, Lenore.
This I whispered, and an echo murmured back the word,
Lenore. Merely this, and nothing more.
Back into the chamber turning, all my soul within me burning. Soon again I heard a tapping, somewhat louder than before. Surely, said I, surely that is something at my window lattice. Let me see then, what there it is in this mystery explore. Let my heart be still a moment, and this mystery explore. 'Tis the wind, and nothing more.
Open here I flung the shutter, when with many a flirt and flutter, in there stepped a stately
Raven.
Of the saintly days of yore, not the least obeisance made he, not a minute stopped or stayed he, but with mine of lord or lady, perched above my chamber door, perched upon a bust of Pallas, just above my chamber door, perched and sat, and nothing more.
Then this ebony bird, beguiling my fancy into smiling, by the grave and stern decorum of the countenance it wore.
Though thy crest be shorn and shaven, thou, I said, art sure no craven.
Ghastly, grim, and ancient raven, wandering from the nightly shore, tell me what thy lordly name is on the night's Plutonian shore.
Quoth the raven, nevermore.
Much I marvel this ungainly fowl to hear discourse so plainly, though its answer little meaning, little relevancy bore. For we cannot help agreeing that no living human being ever yet was blessed with seeing bird above his chamber door, bird or beast upon the sculptured bust above his chamber door, with such name as
Nevermore.
But the raven, sitting lonely on the placid bust, spoke only that one word, as if his soul in that one word he did outpour. Nothing farther than he uttered, not a feather than he fluttered, till I, scarcely more than muttered, other friends have flown before, on the morrow he will leave me, as my hopes have flown before. Then the bird said,
Nevermore. Startled at the stillness, broken by reply so aptly spoken. Doubtless, said I, what it utters is its only stock and store, caught from some unhappy master, whom unmerciful disaster followed fast and followed faster, till his songs one burden bore, till the dirges of his hope that melancholy burden bore. Of nevermore.
But the raven, still beguiling all my fancy into smiling, straight I wheeled a cushioned seat in front of bird and bust and door. Then upon the velvet sinking, I betook myself to linking fancy on the fancy, thinking, what this ominous bird of yore, what this grim, ungainly, ghastly, gaunt, and ominous bird of yore meant in croaking.
Nevermore.
This I sat engaged in guessing, but no syllable expressing, to the fowl whose fiery eyes now burned into my bosom's core. This and more I sat divining, with my head at ease reclining on the cushion's velvet lining that the lamplight gloated o'er. But whose velvet violet lining with the lamplight gloating o'er?
She shall press.
Nevermore.
Then, methought, the air grew denser, perfumed from an unseen censer swung by seraphim, whose footfalls tinkled on the tufted floor. Wretch, I cried, thy God hath lent thee, by these angels he hath sent thee respite and repent from thy memories of Lenore. Quaff this kind nepenthe, and forget this lost Lenore.
Quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, said I. Thing of evil? Prophet still, if bird or devil. Whether tempter sent, or whether tempest tossed thee here ashore, desolate yet all undaunted, on this desert land enchanted, on this home by horror haunted. Tell me truly, I implore, is there a balm in Gilead? Tell me, I implore. Quoth the raven, nevermore.
Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, by that heaven that bends above us, by that God we both adore, tell this soul with sorrow laden, if within a distant Aden it shall clasp a sainted maiden, whom the angels name Lenore, clasp a rare and radiant maiden, whom the angels name Lenore.
Quoth the raven,
Nevermore.
Be that word our sign of parting, bird or fiend, I shrieked of starting.
Get thee back into the tempest and the night's Plutonian shore!
leave no black plume as a token of that lie thy soul hath spoken.
Leave my loneliness unbroken.
Quit the bust above my door!
Take thy beak from out my heart, and take thy form from off my door.
Quoth the raven, nevermore.
And the raven, never flitting, still is sitting
Still is sitting
on the pallid bust of Pallas, just above my chamber door.
And his eyes have all the seeming of a demon's that is dreaming.
And the lamplight o'er him streaming throws his shadow on the floor.
And my soul from out that shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted
nevermore.
The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. They're coming back. Hurry, we have to leave.
You're right about that snack. Really hit the spot. Of course, being with you makes me work up an appetite.
Did you hear that? I swear, I keep feeling like there's somebody watching us.
You're just spooked from the scary stories, words of mine. It's nothing. Just birds, or deer maybe. Definitely not werewolves or psycho killers.
You're not as funny as you think you are. And you should have avoided the salami if you were looking for a kiss.
Linda, come on. I want to talk about something. About us.
No, too serious. And I'm not scared. I'm really not. Okay, I've got one from the master, Edgar Allan Poe.
Oh, you think that's scary?
I do. No monsters or vampires here. This is a story with blood and guts and a madman overcome by guilt. You want a scare? Just watch.
Nervous? Very, very dreadfully nervous I have been and am. But why would you say that I'm mad? The disease has only sharpened my senses, not destroyed or dulled them. Above all, the sense of hearing is acute. I heard all things in heaven and in earth, and I heard many things in hell. But how then does that make me mad? Hearken! And listen to how healthily and calmly I can tell you the whole story. Now, it is impossible to say how the idea first entered my brain, but once conceived, it haunted me night and day. Object? There was none. Passion? There was none. I loved the old woman. She had never wronged me. She had never given me not one insult. For her goal, I had no desire. And that is the point. For you say that I'm mad, but a madman knows nothing. You should have seen me. You should have seen how wisely I proceeded. With what caution, with what foresight, with what dissimulation I went to work. I was never kinder to the old woman for the entire week. Before I killed her.
Oh, thank you, my dear. You are so kind to me.
That's what you pay me for.
Oh, would you fetch me the paper? It's over on the counter over there.
Of course.
You are so kind. Thank you, my dear, dear boy.
Every night, around midnight, I turned the latch of the door, and I opened it gently, gently. And then, when my head was in the door, I brought out the dark lantern. Closed, so no light had shone. With that, I thrust it forward my head. Oh, you would laugh to see how cunningly I thrusted it in. I moved it slowly, so as to not disturb the woman when she was sleeping. It took me an hour to move my head in forward far enough so that I could see the woman as she lay upon the bed. Ha! Would a madman have been so wise? And then, with that, I put in the lantern, and I opened it, cautiously, for the hinges creaked. I opened it up just enough so that a single beam of light fell upon the woman's vulture eye. And this I did for 7 long nights. And yet I always found that the eye was closed. And so I could not do the work. Because it was not the old woman who vexed me, but her evil eye. The next morning, when day broke, I boldly entered the chamber and spoke to her courageously, addressing her by name in a hearty tone, and inquiring as to how she passed the night. Did you sleep well last night?
Oh, yes, my dear. Oh, but the sheets are a bit scratchy.
Oh. Well, we'll have to take care of that then, won't we? So you see, She would have had to have been a very profound woman indeed to suspect that every night, exactly at midnight, I looked upon her while she slept. On the 8th night, the room was black with pitch, with a thick darkness, for the shutters had been closed fastened for fear of robbers. I knew she could not see the opening of the door, and so I pushed it steadily. And then when my head was in the room, I brought in the lantern, and then I opened it. But yet, my thumb slipped upon the tin fastening. The woman sprang up from the bed, crying out, "Who's there?" I stood still and said nothing. For an hour, I did not move a muscle. But then, I could not hear the woman lie down back in the bed. She was sitting up, listening, just as I had done every night at midnight, hearkening for the death watch in the wall. But, for a few minutes, I refrained, did nothing. But then, came upon my ears a low, dull, quick sound, such as that a watch makes when enveloped in cotton. I knew the sound well. It was the sound of her beating heart, and it increased my fury like the drumming of a simulation drives a soldier into battle. However, I refrained and kept still. But then the sound increased. I thought the heart might burst. And then a new fear seized me. The sound would be heard by a neighbor. The woman's hour had come. With a loud yell, I threw open the lantern and leaped into the room. The night waned, and I worked hastily, but in silence. I dismembered the corpse. I cut off the head, and the arm, and the feet, and I put the pieces of the body into a burlap bag that I bought at the market just the day before. The old woman liked it. How ironic. And I put it in the closet. And I put it there and hid it so cunningly that no human eye, not even hers, could detect that anything was wrong.
Good evening, sir.
Evening. I believe it is quite early in the morning, officers.
Yes, of course, sir. We apologize for coming by such an early hour, but we received a call about a shriek. One of your neighbors believed it come from your home.
A shriek?
Yes, sir.
What? Yes. The shriek was my own. A terrible dream, I'm afraid. I haven't been back to sleep since. That's why I'm up at this hour. But why don't you come in and look around if you'd like to be sure? You see, the old woman is not even home. It's just been me alone tonight.
And where exactly is she?
She's taking some time away in the country. Won't you please sit down? You must be fatigued at this hour.
Oh, that is very kind of you, sir.
So, do you get many calls this late at night? False alarms?
Oh, sure. Rather often. Especially in a quiet neighborhood like this one. People pay attention to their neighbors.
Most of them just nervous old ladies.
They sat, and while I answered cheerfully, they spoke of familiar things. But before long, I wished them gone. My head started to ache, and I fancied a ringing in my ears. But still, they sat, and still they chatted. The sound, then, it increased. Oh God! What can I do? I gasped for breath, but then the officers, they heard it not. Why were they not gone? I paced the room with heavy strides to and fro, as if excited into fury by the men's observations. And yet, the sound increased again, and it grew louder. Oh God, what could I do? I foamed. I raved. I swore. I swung a chair upon which I had sat, and I grated it upon the boards. And yet, the sound rose above all, and it continuously increased. And it grew louder, and louder, louder. Was it possible that they heard it not? Oh, no. They heard. They suspected. They knew. They were making a mockery of my horror. This I thought, and this I think. God, but anything was better than agony. Anything more tolerable than their derision. I could bear their hypocritical smiles no longer. I knew that I must scream or die. Then, again, louder, 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 louder! Villains! Dissemble no longer. I admit the deed. Go look in the closet. Here is the beating of a woman's hideous heart.
True.
Nervous? Very, very dreadfully nervous. I've been and am. But why would you say that I'm mad? I was never kinder to the woman for the entire week. Before I killed her!
Crazy table for one. Crazy table for one.
Can't you hear it, Peter? The beating of the severed heart calling out to you? Ba-bum, ba-bum, ba-bum,
You know,
ba-bum.
for a pretty girl, you got a mean streak in you.
Can't distract me by calling me pretty. Ba-bum, ba-bum. So, was the caretaker mad? Or did the old lady drive him crazy from beyond the grave?
I don't know. But, hey, listen, is it getting really cold? No, listen, we really do need to talk.
No, it is getting kind of cold. But sort of freaky on its own. Listen to this. The Cremation of Sam McGee by Robert W. Service.
Linda, stop.
There are strange things done in the midnight sun by the men who moil for gold. The Arctic trails have their secret tales that'll make your blood run cold. The northern lights have seen queer sights, but the queerest they ever did see was the night on the marge of Lake LaBarge I cremated Sam McGee.
Now Sam McGee was from Tennessee, where the cotton blooms and blows. Why he left home in the south to roam round the poles, God only knows. He was always cold, the land of gold seemed to hold him like a spell, though he'd often say in his homely way that he'd rather live in hell.
On a Christmas day, we were mushing our way over the Dawson Trail. Talk of your cold, for the park is full, stabbed like a driven nail. With our eyes we'd close and our lashes froze, till sometimes we couldn't see. And it wasn't much fun, but the only one to whimper was Sam McGee. And that night, as we lay packed tight in our robes beneath the snow, and the dogs were fed, and the stars overhead were dancing heel and toe, he turned to me, and Cap, says he, I'll cash in this trip, I guess, but if I do, I ask that you won't refuse my last request. Well, he seemed so low that I couldn't say no. And he says with a sort of moan, it's the cursed cold, and it's got right hold till I'm chilled clean through to the bone. Yet, tain't being dead, it's my awful dread, the icy grave that pains. So I want you to swear that foul or fair, you'll cremate my last remains.
A pal's last need is a thing to me, so I swore I would not fail. And we started on at the streak of dawn. God, he looked ghastly pale. He crouched on the sleigh, and he raved all day of his home in Tennessee. And before nightfall, the corpse was all that was left of Sam McGee. There wasn't a breath in that land of death, so I hurried, horror-driven. With the corpse half hid, I couldn't get rid because of the promise given. It was lashed to the sleigh, and it seemed to say, you may tax your brawn and brains, but you promise true, and it's up to you to cremate those last remains. Now a promise made is a debt unpaid, and the trail has its own stern code. In the days to come, though my lips were dumb, my heart, how I cursed that load. The long, long night, by the lone firelight, while the huskies, round in a ring, howled out their woes to the homeless snows. Oh God, how I loathed the thing.
And every day, that quiet place seemed to heavy and heavier grow. And on I went till the dogs were spent and the grub was getting low. The trail was bad, and I felt half mad, though I swore I would not give in. And I'd often sing to that dreadful thing, and it hearkened with a grin. Till I came to the marge of Lake LaBarge, and a derelict there lay. It was jammed in the ice, but I saw in a thrice. It was called the Alice May. So I looked at it, and I thought of it, and I looked at my frozen chum. Then here, said I, with a sudden cry, is my crematorium. Some planks I tore from the cabin floor, and I lit the boiler fire. Some coal I found that was laying around, and I heaped the fuel higher. The flames just soared, and the furnace roared. To blaze you'll seldom see. And I burrowed a hole in the glowing coal, and I stuffed in Sam McGee.
Then I made a hike, for I didn't like to hear him sizzle so. And the heavens scowled, and the huskies howled, and the wind began to blow. It was icy cold, but the hot sweat rolled down my cheeks, and I don't know why. And the greasy smoke in an inky cloak went streaking down the sky. I do not know how long I wrestled in the snow with such grisly fear, but the stars came out, and they danced about, ere again I ventured near. I was sick with dread, but I bravely said, I'll just take a peep inside. Well, I guess he's cooked, and it's time I looked, and the door I opened wide.
And there sat Sam, looking cool and calm in the heart of the furnace roar. And he wore a smile, you could see a mile, and he said, please close that door. It's fine in here, but I greatly fear you'll let in the cold and storm. Since I left Plumtree, down in Tennessee, it's the first time I've been warm.
There are strange things done in the midnight sun by the men who moil for gold. The Arctic trails have their secret tales that would make your blood run cold. The Northern Lights have seen queer sights, but the queerest they ever did see was that night on the marge of Lake Labarge. I cremated Sam McGee.
Oh, sorry, Peter.
Did you say you were cold? I'm actually feeling a little warm. Do you need me to warm you up?
Yes! I mean, in a minute. Linda, we have got to talk.
Peter, do you like me?
You know I do.
Then tell me a story. One more story before we head home.
Okay, one more story. You know Arthur Conan Doyle?
Elementary, my dear Watson.
Exactly. Well, he had some pretty monstrous tales in his bag of tricks, too. Like Lot 249, where some English university students face off against an opponent from a very different age.
Thank you for your assistance. Some tea, perhaps? Or, well, maybe later. But then I suppose I'm not as interesting as my friend here.
Thanks for helping us, Smith. And I'm glad the two of you finally got a chance to meet. Abercrombie Smith beat Edward Bellingham, engaged to my sister and soon to be a part of the family. Oh, Smith has the rooms next door. Being that he studies entirely too much, he's almost always there.
Always ready to help a friend. Though you may have mentioned that it was a boxed up corpse when you asked for my help carrying it. Come on, Bellingham. Don't be coy. Let's have a look.
Now, this lady in the box was packed in the days of the 11th dynasty, some 40 centuries ago, and if she could find her tongue, she would tell us that this lapse of time has been but a closing of the eyes and a reopening of them. She is a singularly fine mummy.
What was that? Why'd you put it away so quickly? Hiding notes from a lover in a mummy script? I might have known, old dog.
The papyrus, it's nothing. It contains unique properties. Never mind that, it's none of your concern. The translation has been slow going, but it has had its rewards.
Been able to translate it? Very impressive. So who is she?
I don't know her name. You see, the outer sarcophagus with the inscription is missing. She might have been a priestess, a princess, maybe even a master of ancient mysteries. Lot 249 is all the title she has now. We saw it printed on the case. That was her number at the auction at which I picked her up.
I should have known you had an attraction to older women. I'll tell my sister to keep a tighter rein on you.
Very droll. Lot 249 was quite a find. She may have seen better days, but it's difficult to find a mummy so intact, well-muscled, and fine. Look at her. Even in death, there's something so majestic about her. She must have been quite a woman. A beauty like that, she might have overseen the construction of the ancient pyramids. 4 millennia later, she found me waiting for her. It's fate.
And yet you needed my help to get her up the stairs? Seriously, you want to keep that thing in your rooms?
I have an in-depth study to do, and I could always use the company.
It'll be unnerving for me enough, and I'm only next door. Besides, you're all right now, and well, I have my own studies to do. But I feel for your nervous system, you should take up some less morbid study?
I am not nervous as a rule. I've unwrapped mummies before, and my new friend and I have a lot of work to do.
I didn't understand how seriously I should have taken these words. But 2 days later, my friend Norton was attacked as he was turning out of the high street and within 100 yards of the gate. Norton swears that the thing was not human, and indeed by the scratches on his throat, I should be inclined to agree with him. Well, Norton passes that way every night, you know, around the same hour. And there's a tree that hangs low over the path. It's a big elm from the garden. Well, Norton thinks that the thing dropped on him from out of the tree. Anyhow, he was nearly strangled by two arms which he says were as strong and as thin as steel bands. He saw nothing. Only those beastly arms that tightened and tightened on him. He held his head nearly off, and a couple of chaps came running, and the thing went over the wall like a cat. Never got a fair sight of it the entire time. Now, I never believed in spooks, but perhaps I should have.
I know why the fool police even questioned me about it. Yes, Norton and I weren't friends. I'm just a slight young man, a student consumed with books. How could I have taken that fool's body and throttled it? Had it been me, had I been strong enough, I would have kept strangling him. Maybe I will next time.
Now, the police didn't particularly like that answer, but, well, Lee swears that Bellingham was with her when the assault occurred. Then, he and Lee had something of a falling out.
You fool! You'll be sorry!
Very likely! Mind what I say, it's off! I won't hear from it again!
You promised anyhow! And I'm not particularly kind to those who take what belongs to me.
I'll remain silent! But my silence buys her freedom. I'd rather Eva be in her grave than be married to you. Once and for all, it's off. She'll do what I say. We don't want to see you again.
I could hear the argument from my rooms next door. I should have followed Lee and found out what happened, because she was my friend, but I could hear Bellingham speaking his chants again. I could smell the incense burning, and my ear was up against the wall when I heard a second pair of footsteps in the room next door.
A tragedy for the family, I assure you. Our dear friend Lee was standing by the riverbank where she fell in and drowned.
Someone threw her in! Picked her up like a feather and hurled her in! I heard those heavy steps leave, and then I heard a single scream. And those heavy steps returned. Not Bellingham's nimble light steps, but heavy thuds like death.
My dearest Eva is bereft, but I'm sure she'll recover. Won't you come in?
Show me the corpse, Bellingham. Prove to me that you don't have Lee's blood on your hands.
Are you mad? Get out! Do you assert I had anything to do with Lee's accident?
Open the sarcophagus.
Certainly.
It's empty. Where's the creature? Make it stop, or the mummy won't be the only corpse in the room!
And now what?
Now, the roll of papyrus that you had on the table that night. I believe it's in your suit pocket. Hand it over to me.
Maybe we're meant to be partners. You don't know what's in this scroll, but I do. And I can share it. It is unique. It contains wisdom which cannot be found anywhere. It also contains unique properties that allow our friend here to do. No! Oh! 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 to know. I'll share the knowledge with you. Just let me look at it before you destroy it.
You'll find that your filthy tricks won't answer in England. See, we've given up burning folk like you, but we still keep a hangman. You're going to leave the school tonight. Any man in this college meets his death while I'm still here, and I'll see you swing for it!
Lot 249!
Well, maybe it was just the papyrus and your hatred that moved her. But as you're packing, I believe we'll set up a small bonfire for your bag of bones. Festive. Get her back in the box. Oh, and if you return to your tricks again, well, you'll hear from me again. Now, good morning. For I must go back to my studies.
That one's not so bad. Mummy destroyed and villain thwarted. The best stories are the ones with happy endings.
Linda, we have got to talk.
Sheriff's office, come on out.
Sorry, officers, we didn't mean to trespass.
You see anything?
We're over here, officers. Officers?
Another false alarm. I swear that old lady calls us out here every week.
This isn't funny. Officers, I'm right here.
Man, they should have torn this place down when they found that couple. Justice not right.
No, Peter, what are they talking about?
I'm sorry, Linda.
More mysterious lights in the gazebo.
Wait, help me, please, please.
Shut up, Sarah. Come on, let's go back to the squad car. Man, it is creepy out here at night.
From ghoulies and ghosties and long-leggedy beasties and things that go bump in the night. Good Lord, deliver us. You stay quiet out here, whatever you are.
I'm not dead. I'm not dead.
I'm sorry. I tried to tell you, but...
But what happened?
Does it matter? Will the answer make you feel any better?
No. Maybe it was a vampire that got you.
Or a creature returned from the grave. Or a man obsessed with guilt. Driven mad by eldritch forces.
But you're one of us now. A tale to frighten others. There's nothing to be afraid of.
But what do we do now?
Gather around, everyone. So, do you want to hear a scary story?
Yeah. What? You bury my daughter and this is what happens to her?